Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Beyond the Sport. Today, we will be discussing what age is expected to be the peak for athletes. I am Laura Gabriela Mandujano, and I'm here with my co host, Urit Jasmine Lopez, to take a deeper look into this topic.
Yes, thank you, Gabby. So, I don't know how the audience feels about this topic, but I personally love sports, and even if you're not too tuned into them, it's fascinating to see elite athletes compete at the world stage. This summer, we saw a range of athletes performing in the Olympics, in which one highlights every edition, and that is Simone Biles.
Yes, I heard Simone Biles was one of the oldest gymnasts competing and expected her to be over 30. However, she is only 27 and made her Olympic debut at 19 years old.
Exactly, I had the same expectation too. And although we expect younger athletes to shine, it seems to be like new training techniques and preparation methods can extend an athlete's career. The Journal of Science and Medicine in Sports indicates that the peak performance of soccer players was between 25 and 27. Yet, we all know about Cristiano Ronaldo, who's at the top stage of soccer, and he is 39 years old. His peak performance was around 33, so we're seeing different sides of the spectrum here in which athletes hit their prime.
This is one of those unanswered type of questions. There are so many factors influencing sport performance, so what's the perfect age for athletes to shine their brightest? Because as a Texas A&M University researcher mentions, exercise physiology literature suggests physiological function occur just prior to age 30.
Right, and we've seen this claim be refuted as athletes are now reaching their prime before or past this age. To further investigate this topic, we found a paper published by Allen Hopkins in 2015 titled Age of Peak Competitive Performance of Elite Athletes, a Systematic Review.
Yes, so as the title suggests, the researchers can run a systematic review to attempt to estimate what is the average age athletes reach their peak, and it's important to mention that it's different across different sports.
Can you quickly explain what a systematic review and how they conducted the study?
Of course, no experiments or testing was done, rather existing research was analyzed across a variety of sports, and from this they focused on the ages to then perform statistical analysis to find this peak age.
This is really useful because as we mentioned earlier, there is a difference across sports. And not only that, but we need to look at the bigger picture to have the real closest estimate to that peak age in sports.
Right, so from all this data, the researchers performed statistical analysis to attempt and make a prediction from peak age.
To do so, the article mentions the use of linear regression models. Linear regression is a method used to find relationships between variables. In this case, linear regression was used to find a trend between age and performance. Furthermore, it could be used to predict the peak age too, as there is significant existing data to make these predictions.
It is also important to mention that the researchers divided sports into three categories, because also from the studies that they had initially collected, they noticed that there were certain physical and mental requirements across events, and also by gender. So the sports were grouped by endurance sport, like long distance running or cycling, strength-based sports like weightlifting, and skill-based sports like tennis or gymnastics.
So by grouping them, I guess it's easier to make those predictions, right?
Yes, and by doing so, they were able to successfully create a linear regression model that was a good fit.
Okay, so just kind of like to quickly summarize, a systematic review was performed to gather the mean age of athletes' peak performances. This data was then split into the three categories mentioned and by gender. Then all this data was plotted to find the line of best fit, right?
Exactly. And the results were that for endurance sports, athletes tend to peak in their late 20s to their early 30s. For strength-based sports, their peak is a bit younger, usually in mid to late 20s. And then for skill-based sports, athletes peak even earlier, often in their early to mid 20s.
So this aligns with what we had mentioned with Cristiano Ronaldo and Simone Biles. And I also found information regarding the strength-based sport. We have all heard about Manny Pacquiao, and his peak was around 29 years old.
Jasmine, how old are you?
I'm 21. Why? Do you think I could still reach my peak?
In a sport like gymnastics, of course.
No, that's not really my strength. I think I'll wait for a peak in endurance so I can be like Cristiano Ronaldo.
But you really need to put that in work. This study is just an estimate for those who already are in intense competition. So it helps coaches with prospecting training and identifying where each athlete can excel.
Oh, and I also forgot another point. What is the difference in performance between the genders?
Good question. Yes, actually, there isn't much difference. Both genders follow the same pattern, so it's more about the type of sport when it comes to the timing of peak performance.
These were really interesting insights. It really comes down to more than talent and training for these professionals.
Well, hopefully, we're not all past our peak age and can modify our training and practices to reach our full potential when we reach that age.
Yes, and I guess we'll have to start training smarter, Gabby. And if the audience is interested more in this topic, we invite them to check out that article too.
Yes, it's a really complete article with much information, and it is definitely worth to read it if you're into sports.
Well, thank you for joining us today. If you like this episode, remember to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. See you for the next episode.